Okay, you've been saving up every penny, working hard, you got enough money for your down payment. It's time to shop for a home, right? Well, first thing you want to do is you want to get together with a loan officer. And a lot of the time I see buyers, they think all they need is the down payment, whether it's 5%, 10%, 20%. And then they don't think about the closing costs associated to it. And there's a number of closing costs. I'm not going to go into detail on what the closing costs are. I really want to talk about the idea of budgeting for them, because if you're working with a loan officer, they are going to explain what they are, what they do, and some ways in which you can take care of those. The first is save up enough money to pay your own closing costs. If that is not doable, there is another option. You can ask for the seller to pay for your closing costs. Depending on the type of loan program you're getting, there are some restrictions to that. A certain percentage of those closing costs can be paid through certain loan programs. So just make sure your loan officer has told you about that. The next thing is, let's say the seller, and the seller's market's a little harder to get closing costs paid for by a seller. Then you can ask the lender to pay for a few of your closing costs, or all of your closing costs for that matter. And what happens is the lender essentially will give you a higher than par rate to basically pay those closing costs up front for you. So the idea is it saves you a little cash now. It's going to increase your payment, so you want to make sure, obviously, that you can afford that payment, that you qualify for that payment, and that you're comfortable with that payment. So, that's just some different ways to think about closing costs. Don't think that the down payment's enough. If you only have the down payment, you really want to make sure you're exploring the alternatives, seller credit or a lender credit, and then that your loan officer and your realtor are in communication, so when they write offers for you, it's going to work. So anyways, if you have any questions about this, I'd love to help.